Call to order the city council meeting for December 10th. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Armstrong,
Here.
Councilmember Rubio. Here. Councilmember Veros,
Here.
Vice Mayor Perkins,
Here.
and Mayor Hudson.
Still here. Okay, we're going to have our honor guard lead us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Forward, left, right, left, right, through, halt, left, face. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of the colors and for our pledge of allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag
The United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the retirement of the colors. Forward.
Okay, next item, please.
Item 3, announcements. 3.1, changes and additions to the agenda. We have none this evening. Item 3.2, if you'd like to speak under public comment or any other item on the agenda, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room and bring it forward. Item 4, public comment.
Okay, public comment is open at this time. Anyone in the audience is able to speak to the council on any item not on today's agenda or any item that we pulled from the consent calendar. We haven't gotten there. Do we have any cards?
We don't have any cards for this item.
Okay. Is there any written?
Not for this item.
Okay, last call. Does anybody want to speak under public comment? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment. Next item, please.
Item 5, consent calendar.
Okay, consent calendar items, are generally routine in nature, acted upon by the city council with a single action. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to provide public input on any item that you may request? Well, you had to do it by email. Anyone in the council want to pull an item? Seeing none, did we have any requests?
No.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the council?
I move the consent calendar.
I'll second that.
Everybody in?
Yep. You need to say this.
Looks like it's unanimous.
Yay.
Okay, next item, please.
Item 6, special presentation. 6.1, items, remarks from the offices of Congressman DeSaulnier, Senator Glazer, Assemblymember Bauer Cahan, and Supervisor Anderson, and Danville Town Council and Santa Ramon Valley Fire Protection District.
Okay, who's first on the agenda?
Congressman DeSaulnier.
Congressman DeSaulnier?
Yeah, or staff.
Thank you so much, Council. My name's Caroline Francois. I'm really proud to be here today representing Congressman DeSaulnier, who's in DC busy, but wishes he could be here, especially to honor both Mayor Hudson and Vice Mayor Perkins as you retire. I bring with me 2 congressional records for both of you, which will be read on the House floor and entered into the official congressional record to honor you. So if you don't mind and will indulge me, pretend I'm Congressman DeSaulnier on the House floor, and I'll start with Mayor Hudson. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to recognize the service of Dave Hudson as he retires from the city of San Ramon. Throughout his career, Dave has been dedicated to his community and to improving the lives of Bay Area residents. Dave began his career with the city of San Ramon on the city's planning commission. He served on the city council for 23 years and was elected as mayor of San Ramon in 2020 amid the COVID-19 pandemic. His leadership and dedication helped guide the city through this challenging time. During his time on city council, Dave worked to protect the East Bay's open spaces, improve transportation throughout the region, and improve quality of life for all San Ramon residents. He was instrumental in the development of the City Walk Master Plan, a mixed-use district in Bishop Branch that would provide residents access to retail, dining, and recreational amenities. Dave's leadership has helped to increase access to affordable housing in the Tri-Valley and foster a vibrant community in San Ramon. Dave has also been a strong advocate for all Bay Area residents, working to improve regional transportation, ensure California continues to lead the way in curbing carbon emissions, and more. Dave has worked with a number of regional organizations, including the League of California Cities, the Association of Bay Area Governments, East Bay Municipal Utility District, San Ramon Valley Unified School District, and many more. Please join me in congratulating Dave Hudson on his well-deserved retirement after decades of public service.
Please thank Mark for me. Thank you.
And Vice Mayor Perkins, I did not forget about you. Mr. Speaker, I rise to recognize the service of Scott Perkins as he retires from his role with the San Ramon City Council. Scott has spent his life serving his country and his community. He attended the U.S. Naval Academy and earned his BS in mechanical engineering before serving 5 years in active duty with the Navy. Scott remained in the Naval Reserve, serving in a variety of roles before he was called back into active duty to support Operation Desert Storm. He continued to serve his nation with his acquired expertise, moving into an engineering role at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. He retired from the lab after 36 years of dedicated service and continues to consult for their Weapons Complex Integration Program. Scott has also demonstrated his steadfast commitment to our community and to improving the lives of San Ramon residents. He was first elected to the San Ramon City Council in 2003, where he has worked to maintain the financial health of the city and improving quality of life in San Ramon. He served as the chair of the city's finance committee and played a key role in renovating and expanding San Ramon's library. Beyond his work on city council, Scott has been instrumental in supporting local Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. He's led backpacking trips in the Sierra Nevada mountains and has mentored over 100 Eagle Scouts. Throughout his life, Scott has bravely served his country and has worked tirelessly to empower members of our community. Please join me in congratulating Scott Perkins on his well-deserved retirement after decades of public service.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please tell Mark we're going to miss those little trips back there, but we'll send Newell back instead.
Good evening. I'm Donna Brown, and I am here representing the Office of Assemblymember Rebecca Bauer-Cahan, as well as Senator Steve Glazer. We've prepared joint resolutions for both Vice Mayor Scott Perkins and for Mayor Dave Hudson, and I'm very proud to be here as a San Ramon resident of the past almost 19 years. I'm very proud to be able to present these resolutions. I feel that the reading from the congressional record really covered everything that is included in the resolution, so I'm just going to highlight a little bit of what we have to say here, and I'm going to start with Vice Mayor Perkins. The Honorable Scott Perkins is completing his tenure on the San Ramon City Council following 21 years of dedicated service, and it is appropriate at this time to commend him on his many achievements and extend to him special public recognition It is resolved by Assemblymember Rebecca Bauer Cahan and Senator Steve M. Glazer that the Honorable Scott Perkins be commended for his long and distinguished record of leadership as a member of the San Ramon City Council, applauded for his exemplary public achievements, and extend sincere best wishes for his continued success in his future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mayor Hudson. Been my mayor for San Ramon many times, and let me just bear with me one moment. I'm going to share that the relationship between a city and its residents is a vital and interdependent one, deriving its strength from public-spirited civic involvement, such as that exemplified by the Honorable Dave Hudson, who has announced his retirement, thereby bringing to a close his tenure as the City of San Ramon's longest-serving council member and following 2 consecutive terms as mayor of San Ramon. And it is appropriate at this time to highlight his many achievements during his years in office and extend to him a heartfelt thank you for a job well done. Resolved by Senator Steve M. Glazer and Assemblymember Rebecca Bauer Cahan that they take great personal pleasure in commending Dave Hudson as he completes his tenure as mayor of San Ramon and a member of the San Ramon City Council, applaud him for his admirable record of civic leadership and dedication to enhancing the lives of the people of San Ramon, and convey their warm best wishes for his continued success and personal satisfaction in the years to come.
And I believe Candace. I never
Well-
wore my bus shirt.
Good evening, and tonight I get to recognize 2 men who I truly consider to be my friends. Scott joined the San Ramon Council just a few months after I had been appointed to Danville's Town Council back in 2003. And we got to serve on a variety of committees, but the one that I really appreciated serving with you, Scott, was on the Veterans Memorial Building, where we were working with historic architects to come up with a design that would be keeping the integrity of that building. And your attention to detail, your engineering, looking into every point was so helpful in that process. I've come to appreciate on the many committees that we've served, just your taking the deep dive on issues. You don't just skim over things. You make sure that we're doing it the right way. And you're always the first to raise your hand to be on the finance committee or the fiscal oversight. And I know we're in good hands when that happens. So I am going to truly miss your expertise in that way. I'm going to miss seeing you out doing all the wonderful things you do because you are out in the community a lot. And I look forward to seeing all of your travels with Elizabeth as you tell me you spend through your children's inheritance, which is, I think, the goal is what I heard. Dave, you have just been a true friend, and you had already been on the council when I became a council member and a county supervisor, and you always have impressed me with so much knowledge that you have stored in your mind that you just are ready to share with the rest of us, especially when it comes to transportation issues. But Dave and my common bond is the bus in Hawaii. I'm from Hawaii. I used to ride the bus to and from school. Dave used to visit his brother in Hawaii and ride the bus. And he and I love to talk about the virtues, the value of the bus. And even Gillig, that makes our County Connection buses, makes the buses for Hawaii. But when I knew Dave was really my friend, it was in 2012 when I was running for county supervisor. Now, I had a lot of people helping me, supporting me in different ways, but Dave kept showing up in my campaign headquarters offering to walk neighborhoods, not just one neighborhood, but he would say, give me 2, give me 3. I'm going to walk all of San Ramon for you. And he just about did. And I really realized that that was a true sign of friendship, to be willing to do that for someone who was your political ally, but someone who you obviously cared about. And so I appreciated that. So I do have some wonderful proclamations signed by the entire Contra Costa County Board of Supervisors. I'm not going to read them to you because you know all of these wonderful facts. They're just repeats, but I just tonight wanted to express my deep friendship that I feel for both of you and how much I'm going to miss working with each of you. So thank you.
Thank you, Candace. Thank you.
Thank you, Candace.
Okay, now it's my pleasure to introduce the members from the town of Danville. Newell Arnrich and Robert Storr. This is a tag team effort tonight.
Very dangerous. Well, good evening. I'm Newell Arnrich, Vice Mayor. It's really an honor. I'm joined here with Robert Storr, council member, multi-time mayor as well. I would start out with this way. I'm the oldest serving person, and I'm the only one that was around before Dave was. So we're going to tag team. Robert's going to start off, and then I have a couple of pieces of hardware for you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Wanted everyone here tonight to know how important each of you have been to the success of the Tri-Valley. Mayor Hudson and Vice Mayor Perkins, each of you have played such an important role in a large part of the success for the reasons people moved to the San Ramon Valley and especially the city of San Ramon. Your leadership has brought families to this area for schools, the safety, good clean roads, good retail, shopping, restaurants, are just some of the reasons why people actually moved to the city of San Ramon. And each of you have had a big part in accomplishing that. You have both shown what leading by example really looks like. You have both been mentors and role models to so many people, especially some of the young electeds, especially your community, and naturally your residents. I also appreciate how accessible each of you have been over the years for everyone. Scott, first time I met you, I walked away and I said, wow, he could actually be smarter than our Newell Arnrich in Danville.
Not hard to do.
And then I thought, no, that's not possible. Newell
Yes,
said
it
he was
is.
smarter. So thank you for all that you've done, Scott. Dave, the first time I've met you, and a lot of times after that, I got to tell you, I've walked away and said to myself, what the heck did he just say? And I'm still a little bit confused about that. But both of you have such an understanding of how a community works and how it thrives. And you guys are absolutely amazing working together as a council. I just sit here in awe sometimes just listening to everything you've both said about where we live, where we work, and how we run a city. You've both been the epitome of true leaders, exhibiting solid character, honesty, honor, and humility, and this amazing ability to always bring people together. That is a gift that you have always shared with the community, and I am truly grateful. We are truly grateful for knowing each of you, and we'll always appreciate all of our time together. It's always been a part of my most treasured memories. I hope the next chapters in your life bring you much happiness, a great sense of purpose, and accomplishment. Your legacies have been your ability to make San Ramon such a wonderful place to live and raise our families. You should be very proud of yourselves, gentlemen. Nicely done. I still want my plaque though, but well done.
There's a plaque. How appropriate, though, that tonight there are two things. We're getting to say goodbye to two extraordinary men. They both get to go out with their titles. Scott, your proclamation is written as the vice mayor. Dave, you're going out as the mayor. To Mark, who's incoming, and to Robert, a new council member, fantastic. There, sorry. I was looking at the wrong bald-headed guy. Although he could be your doppelganger. It's exciting that the foundation, as Robert just mentioned, that you guys have laid and the fellow council members sitting here, San Ramon is in really good shape. You're headed the right direction. You have some exciting things happening in Bishop Ranch, and that center of gravity for the entire Tri-Valley is actually here in San Ramon. So well done. I just want to read, I'm going to start with Scott. Not going to read the whole thing, but there's a couple of things that I think are important to mention. So this is a proclamation of recognition honoring Vice Mayor Scott Perkins. Whereas Vice Mayor Scott Perkins has honorably served as an elected official on the San Ramon City Council for an impressive 21 years, demonstrating unwavering dedication to his community. And as we know, whereas Vice Mayor Perkins served with distinction in the United States Navy and the Naval Reserve for 34 years in calling a recall to active duty during Operation Desert Storm, where he provided critical service in Germany, Turkey, and Iraq. And whereas this is the one that hasn't been mentioned tonight, and I'm proud of this because I have been to several of the events that Scott was part of. Whereas Vice Mayor Perkins has been a pillar of support in the leadership in the Boy Scouts of America, serving as a den leader, a cub master at Montevideo Elementary School, and as one of the founding leaders of Troop 84 in San Ramon way back in 1988. And as Assistant Scoutmaster, he continues to guide the High Adventure Program and serve as Eagle Advisor, mentoring over 100 Scouts in achieving the esteemed rank of Eagle Scout. And this goes on more, but Scott, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I would add one thing, that if there are other agencies in the San Ramon Valley that both Danville and San Ramon serve on, they are in great financial shape, because Scott has been on the auditing committee of every GPA that we have, every commission council that we have under transportation, traffics, you name it, Scott's been there. And I'm always the one that gets drafted with him because nobody else wants to do that.
I make the motion.
Yeah, well, yeah, thank you. You do that all the time to get out of it. Well, speaking of somebody else, this is a proclamation of recognition honoring Mayor Dave Hudson. Whereas Mayor Dave Hudson has served as a dedicated elected official in the San Ramon City Council for an extraordinary 27 years, exemplifying unwavering commitment and leadership to his community. And whereas Mayor Hudson has held numerous leadership roles, including being selected as mayor way back before the directly elected mayor in 2001, also in 2020 and 22, as well as serving as past vice mayor, 5 terms as a city council member, 4 terms as a redevelopment agency chair, vice chair, 2 terms as a San Ramon Planning Commissioner, chair, vice chair, showcasing his dedication to responsible governance. One other thing most people don't remember, whereas Mayor Hudson proudly served his country with honor, completing a tour in Vietnam in 1969, and has further served his community as a civil marriage officiant, performing numerous marriages, earning the distinction of being San Ramon's longest tenured council member. Dave Hudson, all I can say is personally, I know what you're talking about. What most people don't know is you're starting the conversation that we had the last time I saw you 2 weeks ago. And you're so smart, you never forget where you were. So on behalf of the entire town of Danville, our council, including our staff, thank you to both for your dedication to making our valley and both our cities better places to live. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I just want to
And
say,
your plaque is too.
I guess now I'm going to have to scrap. I'd had planned this toll booth in front of Costco decades ago. And I guess now that gets scrapped because it,
We can relook that.
oh, you can look at it again.
Yeah.
You're in good, we're in good shape. Thank you. See, Costco, the sidewalk in front of Costco is in San Ramon. Costco is in Danville.
The whole street is in San
Yes. The whole street is in San Ramon. So in order to get to Costco, you has to go through San Ramon. And we have some citizens a few decades ago that were dead set against having a Costco in San Ramon. So Costco said, fine, we'll move across the border into Danville. And there we are. But we got the gas station.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you, Newell, Robert, Candace. I think a lot of people don't realize how closely we work with our neighboring cities. Danville and and Dublin both. I mean, when we go back to Washington DC and you have Pleasanton, Dublin, San Ramon and Danville talking, it makes a difference, and it has for years, and it will next year when you go back there.
Yep.
Just let Newell take the lead.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, Newell takes the lead on the transportation.
Yeah.
We let Melissa's not there, and we let Melissa do it on Valley Link. And when you work together, it works out so well for everybody. And I can tell you that I've learned so much from the council members in San Ramon, but also the council members in Danville. If you just listen, I sometimes wish I'd listened a little bit more earlier, Greg, but you know, the reality is you do what you do when you do it. You only have so much time. And so to the people that are coming in, I won't get a chance to talk to you if I haven't already. Go to the mayor's conference and listen to these guys. They know what they're talking about. You'll be so much further ahead, so much faster if you do that, because they've gone through all the trials and tribulations. They've made all the mistakes. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay.
We have fire district.
Fire district. Uh-oh, I could be in trouble on this one.
Mr. Mayor, we brought a whole team to honor you here tonight. So, my name is Jay Kerr. I'm a 40-year resident of San Ramon. I also the current president of the board of the San Ramon Valley Fire District. And on behalf of San Ramon Valley Fire, I want to recognize you and thank you both, Dave and Scott, for the very successful partnerships that now exist between the city and San Ramon and the fire district. I think it's rare for two agencies to collaborate as closely as we have, but there's no question that the citizens of San Ramon are safer because of your vision and your efforts. So thank you. I believe Chief Meyer will have more to say about the specifics of our collaboration, but I want to add on a more personal note. We go back quite a few years, back when our kids were still kids, quite a while. So I'm well aware of your many contributions to to our community. Been outlined tonight. I think everyone here understands that serving on the council is quite a commitment, but you two didn't stop there. You served on numerous committees, traffic, transportation, public safety, finance. Scott shared with me the other day that he's been on 7 committees here recently, and I'm sure, Dave, you've served on just as many. So gone above and beyond. I can't imagine you've had to have attended thousands of meetings in your 20+ years, easily thousands, on behalf of San Ramon. So thank you again. I just can't say enough. A lot of it's been outlined already, but I mean, you've helped in the schools, you've helped with scouting, you've helped with youth activities, been active in the chamber. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I'll by saying that the community is just so much better for your selfless efforts, and I can't say enough about all you've done for San Ramon. With that, I will ask the chief to say a few words, and we have some memorable tokens of appreciation.
Absolutely. Mayor Hudson, Vice Mayor Perkins, can you put these on while I talk? I think I'll have a better time. I'm good. We will share this with you in a minute. I will tell you, and to all the council members, it's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to speak to almost 50 years of service to the city of San Ramon, and has been said over and over again to the larger community. It's pretty remarkable that you can put in that many years for what you get paid. That is a joke.
We get paid.
In any event, it really has been for the past 12 years when I got here, an honor to work with both of you. With the city in general, it's been fantastic, but as we navigated, I think, several issues that affect the larger community and specifically the community here and the residents of the city of San Ramon, I always felt like I had a partner, and I always felt like I answered to 2 boards, actually I answered to 3, to be honest with you, but when I would come speak to you about any of the issues we had or any of the thoughts we had about furthering a partnership. It was always a pleasure, and I knew that you were committed to what was in the best interest and what was right for the citizens that you served and the residents that you served. And so that made it easy, some of the things I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to start with one of the most important things I think that you did and you're part of was the Joint Public Safety Dispatch Center that we have. One of the things folks don't understand, a lot of times they get into this territorial thought process. For us, it was about shaving minutes off of the time it took to get people the help that they needed. And I won't go into, all of the examples of lives that you've actually had a hand in helping save by making the decision to go to a primary PSAP and actually having 911 come into our center where we could immediately dispatch and cut off, like I said, upwards of 2 minutes. That was probably the most important decision that this council and our fire board made together jointly. And I remember that meeting distinctly. It was an honor to be there because I didn't ever think you could get that many elected officials to agree on anything. But you agreed on that. And then the years following, over the past almost 9 years now, we have save after save after save. And our police officers and our firefighters now are more ingrained together. And now sometimes we get on scene and there's already life-saving measures taking place because folks can get to the call more quickly. And that's attributed to not only what you've done, but your commitment to saying, okay, it's about saving lives, not saving money. And that's very rare to see. And I thank you for that. And I think that the residents of the city of San Ramon owe you a debt of gratitude. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Chief.
The other thing I'd say is the commitment that we had together to look at where we could do some sharing in buildings. And when we came together, and I know it wasn't perfect. I know we didn't hit the home run we wanted to, but when you look at 70 to 80,000 square feet of police and fire headquarters with 10,000 square feet of an EOC, state-of-the-art emergency operations center, and a dispatch communications center that's essential services, and you paid about 400 a square foot, I'd say that's pretty darn good, even with our ups and downs that everybody goes through construction. And that just solidified, and I know I'm going back to the primary PSAP, but it solidified the fact that when you call 911, when the big one hits, and we just saw what happened in Eureka, we have a dispatch center now that is essential services and can withstand upwards of an 8.0 earthquake. And I can tell you, there's nobody else in the county that can do that. So for that, the residents owe you a debt of gratitude, and I thank you for that. And finally, the one that I don't think it gets a lot of, press and it's something that I think people are embracing right now. But the fact that we were able to come together and do something that's never been done in the history of the 911 response matrix was to actually sit down with your police department. Now we feel like they're partners and change the way that we respond to 911 calls and actually get the residents of the city of San Ramon, the right people at the right time. And we just had a presentation today. We've been honored with your police chief all over the country, even by EMS World. And currently, after over a year of doing this program, we have an 83% diversion rate from keeping people from going to psychiatric emergency services on a hold. It's pretty phenomenal with this Firefighters First program we put together. And at every turn, you've been there to make those difficult decisions and take a chance when other folks might be a little nervous about it. And that goes for the whole city council, both past and present. I really appreciate everything you've done. But to Mayor and to Vice Mayor, Mayor Hudson, Vice Mayor Perkins, as the fire chief, I just honor your service to this community. I honor the partnership with the fire district, and I thank you so much for everything you've done for the fire district. We're forever grateful, and we appreciate it. Now, I'm going to not get too sentimental because I don't really know what you talk about half the time, but I'm a dumb firefighter. I'm not one of these Danville guys that knows everything. Anyway, we have a few things for you, but one thing I'm going to say is we have a helmet for both of you honorary firefighters. We don't have the shield ready. You have to come to our meeting to get the shield. So we will make sure you come. But, it's hard. You start telling somebody to put a mayor on a shield. It's not. usually, easy to get, or vice mayor. So we have those for you. We'd like to give you both of these helmets and a couple of hats so that when you get pulled over outside,
Oh, that does
outside the
help.
city of San Ramon, all you do is go, I'm just an old retired firefighter. I don't know where I'm going. It works every time. All right, with that, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Chief. Scott? Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I still have something for you. No, oh, thank you. No, I got to remind you that when we did the groundbreaking for that tower, you said you'd be the first one to carry a hose up that thing when it's complete.
I want to say, I'm very grateful for the quality of the people we have in the fire district. And the reason we were able to do so many of the things that the chief talked about was there's a level of trust between the city council, the city staff, and the fire district, and their staff, and their board of directors. Without that level of trust, you don't even make the first step. And that level of trust comes from knowing the people themselves and getting to know them in a lot of different environments. To speak of one, Jay Kerr and I shared a tent or a motel room or a tent for over 2 weeks when we climbed Mount Kilimanjaro together. Both of us, all the way to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, 19,341 feet. So we got to know each other really well at that one. And of course, Matt Stamey and Michelle and the other board members. And Denise, I couldn't go on without saying a great big thank you. Denise Pangelina, if I can pronounce it properly, or close. She's the one that got the dispatch center up and running in, how many months did you have? 8 months. They say typically it takes 1.5 years, but Denise got that dispatch center. And I don't know if people realize here, our dispatch calls used to go to Martinez. All of our 911 calls went to Martinez. They would take all the information. They would decide where does that call need to go next. And then they would dispatch fire or police. Well, now it's all done in one center, right over by the corner of Bollinger and Crow Canyon in our new dispatch center over there. And it's one of the few dispatch centers that doesn't have a lot of personnel opening. Are you guys fully staffed right now? Yeah, they're fully staffed. It's one of the few around that's fully staffed, and we're very grateful that the quality of the people that run that. And if you look at their, they had a whole chart on how many seconds it takes, or what percentage of calls are answered within 10 and 20 seconds. And it's in the very high 90s. I think by 20 seconds, it's over 99%. Is that right? Yeah, if you're calling 911, you're getting a dispatcher within 20 seconds. And like the chief said, that makes a huge difference when you're dealing with a medical emergency. And because they joint dispatch an officer who's already out driving around and a whole fire unit that will come out and do that work. So we are literally saving lives with that dispatch center. And with your new offices and now your new training facility that's coming up out of the ground, I can't wait for that. That's fabulous. We've got the best police department in the area or in the state and the best fire district. So many people think it's a fire department that's part of the city. And I keep reminding them, no, that's a fire district. They are separate, but they do a fabulous job, and thank you for all you do.
And you did it for less money. Okay, do we have any cards to speak on this item, Christine?
Is that the last?
Okay, well, we'll ask, we'll open public comment in case anybody does want to speak on it.
We'll have time for in 8.1 for
Okay.
recognition.
Then we'll close the public comment and move on to the next item.
Item 8, new business, 8.1, recognition of outgoing.
Oh, wait,
Well,
okay.
we'll have public comment during this item.
What's
We will. 8.1, we'll have,
Oh, okay.
we'll have, there'll be time. We'll have time.
Can do it now for 2 minutes or later for 3 now. No, okay, I'm sorry, Christina, what's next?
Item 8.1, recognition of outgoing Mayor David E. Hudson and Vice Mayor Scott Perkins upon their departure from the city council.
Okay, I'm going to start this one off and I'm going to start with Vice Mayor Perkins. I have a proclamation here. Proclamation of the San Ramon City Council recognizing and thanking Scott Perkins for his service to the citizens of San Ramon. And I'm going to go ahead and read this proclamation. You've heard a lot of this stuff already tonight, but I want to kind of read it into the record. And this is from our own city council here. Whereas Scott Perkins has served in a number of positions within the city of San Ramon, he was a member of the Finance Committee and Policy Committee, the San Ramon Redevelopment Agency, and served as a liaison to the Arts Advisory Committee, Transportation Advisory Committee, and Economic Development Advisory Committee. And whereas Scott Perkins was elected to the City Council on November 5th, 2003, and was reelected in 2007, 2011, 2016, and 2020, and served as vice mayor in 2006, 2010, 2015, 2021, and 2024. And whereas major accomplishments during Scott Perkins' tenure on the City Council include initiation of the San Ramon Police Department in July 2007, the addition of numerous parks and school parks, introduction of the San Ramon Farmers Market, opening of new community facilities in the Doherty Valley, including the Performing Arts Center, Aquatic Center, Doherty Station Community Center, the Library and Police Substation, the Doherty Valley Service Center, and the Rancho San Ramon Community Center and Park, construction of City Hall, renovations to the San Ramon Library, construction of the Iron Horse Trail bicycle pedestrian overcrossing, approval of the citywide bicycle master plan, establishment of the Community Facilities District, construction of the joint San Ramon Fire District Public Safety Complex and Communication Center, joining Marin Clean Energy, construction of the City Center, approval of the City Walk and City Village, general plan updates, as well as numerous citywide road widening and pedestrian enhancements. And whereas Scott Perkins served on the Finance Committee from 2004 to 2020 and 2022 to 2024, working to maintain a stable fiscal environment. During his tenure, the city secured a Standard & Poor's AAA bond rating and 15 consecutive certificates of achievement of excellence in financial reporting for the city's comprehensive annual financial reporting. And whereas Scott Perkins led the establishment of the City of San Ramon's Infrastructure Committee to provide focused oversight and strategic guidance on matters related to the city public infrastructure, the formation of the committee facilitates better planning, coordination, and implementation of infrastructure improvements, leading to more efficient use of resources and enhanced public services. And whereas Scott Perkins has contributed significantly in review and approval of a variety of projects, which, because of his understanding of sound community planning practices, enhance the economic viability and quality of life for the citizens of San Ramon. And whereas Scott Perkins has been a dedicated public official and has consistently prioritized the needs and well-being of the citizens of San Ramon, advocating for policies and initiatives that have significantly enhanced the quality of life in our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of San Ramon does hereby recognize and thank Scott Perkins for his commitment, dedication, and valuable contributions to make the City of San Ramon a great place to live, work, and play. Signed, David E. Hudson, Mayor. And at this time, we have our city manager and staff are going to provide a couple presentations, a sign, a memory book gift, and a plaque.
Oh, choose. If I open them? Sure.
All right.
Maybe the bigger one first.
Okay.
Small one we abbreviated, so we print.
Turkey.
right, yeah.
What street is that gonna replace?
Crow Canyon Road.
I don't think so.
Now that it's complete.
Most of the calls, I just tell them to call Danville about Crow Canyon Road. So,
We did.
yeah, and we actually beat the end of the year. Have you driven it lately? Dan? You guys driven that Crow Canyon Road since it's been finished?
All right.
Good answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Oh, and a 21-year plaque. And, oh, look at this.
Ooh, candy.
Candy. Oh, it's a, oh, it's a,
Memory book.
memory book. So, so, oh. So. I'm not going to ask if they used Chat GPT to write this, but thank you very much. This is fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah. And staff would also like to present some flowers at this time.
Flowers are always good.
This, but that's all right. You have to come all the way up. Yes, you do. This is the lady who will stand in. Will stand in front of first graders or a whole school auditorium full of kids without a blush or a moment. But this is not what she likes. So, but I love you and I thank you very much.
All right. Okay, before. Well, we were gonna hold,
Yeah, we're gonna open it up.
you know, we're gonna do Dave and then kind of do the simple
All right.
parts and then open for public comment. But we can rearrange if you want.
That's fine.
Okay. Now I've got another proclamation here, proclamation from the city council, this one for Mayor Dave Hudson for his service to the citizens of San Ramon. Whereas David E. Hudson has served in a number of positions within the city of San Ramon, he was a member of the City Charter Commission, the San Ramon Redevelopment Agency, and was appointed to the Planning Commission in 1994, serving as chair in 1997. Whereas David E. Hudson was elected to the City Council on November 4th, 1997, and was reelected in 2001, 2005, 2009, 2013, and 2018. Whereas David E. Hudson was elected as mayor in 2020 and 2022. He also served as mayor in 2001 and served as vice mayor in 2003, 2008, 2012, and 2017. And whereas major accomplishments during David E. Hudson's tenure on the city council include initiation of the San Ramon Police Department in July 2007, the addition of numerous parks and school parks, introduction of the San Ramon Farmers Market, opening of the new community facilities in the Doherty Valley, including the Performing Arts Center, Aquatic Center, Doherty Station Community Center, the library and police substation, the Doherty Valley Service Center, and the Rancho San Ramon Community Center and Park, construction of City Hall, renovations to the San Ramon Library, construction of the Iron Horse Trail bicycle pedestrian overcrossing, approval of the citywide bicycle master plan, establishment of the Community Facilities District, construction of the joint San Ramon Fire District Public Safety Complex and Communications Center, construction of the City Center, approval of the City Walk and City Village, general plan updates, as well as numerous citywide road widening and pedestrian enhancement projects, And whereas Dave Hudson's extensive experience serving on regional and other committees, including the Association of Bay Area Governments, Bay Area Air Quality Management District Board of Directors, Contra Costa Transit Authority, Central Contra Costa Transit Authority, San Joaquin Valley Regional Rail Authority, that's Valley Link, Southwest Area Transportation Committee, Traffics, Iron Horse Corridor Advisory Committee, and the East Bay Regional Parks District Committee have been pivotal in providing sustainable environmental and transportation solutions for the entire Tri-Valley area. And whereas David Hudson served as a representative on the Tri-Valley Transportation Council, during which the TVTC collected millions in development fees, significantly supported regional transportation improvement projects throughout the Tri-Valley. He was instrumental in expanding public transit service to Doherty Valley, establishing the San Ramon Valley Traffic Safety Education Program, Street Smarts, inaugurating the San Ramon Valley Traffic Safety Storybooks, establishing the San Ramon Valley Youth Transit Incentive Program, and implementing Safe Routes to School programs. And whereas David E. Hudson has been a dedicated public official and served in the best interest of the citizens of San Ramon and has been an ambassador for the city through his role and interactions with our citizens, committees, employees, and numerous other organizations and groups. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of San Ramon does hereby recognize and thank David E. Hudson for his commitment, dedication, and valuable contributions to make the City of San Ramon a great place to live, work, and play. Signed by me.
Thank you, Mayor. All kinds of good stuff. I don't know where to put it out there.
And likewise, we also have some parting gifts, sign that memory book, as well as a plaque.
Yeah, please.
Here.
Yeah, when we get, that's a goodie. I'm gonna put that out on the run so you'll know where to turn.
All right. And the great unveiling here. There you go.
There's your plaque, Robert. Thank you. And while I'm here, I want to make a special thank you for all the people that came tonight. Many of you were here when I swore in the first time. It's always nice to see that you haven't messed up enough that they don't want to come back. But I always thought I'd be doing this forever. You get into a habit of keep coming and listening to people. You learn a little bit, you learn a little more. And I just thought, okay, we'll just keep doing it until they kick you out. But the time has come, and now I know that if I can spend this much time at City Hall, I can spend this much time, which I'm going to do from here out, with my wife and my kids and my grandkids, to make up for a lot of time.
If you want to give the opportunity to present some flowers also to Barbara here.
Oh, okay. I'll let you, I'm not gonna come down here. We'll keep us here all night. But you gotta come up.
We also have a we have a sign for the first lady as well.
All right, at this time, let's go with the
A public comment?
Vice Mayor
Oh, go ahead.
Perkins comments, then your comments, Mayor Hudson, and then we'll open up the public comment.
At this time, I'd like to thank all the persons who made presentations tonight from the various offices, from Congressman Mark DeSaulnier, Senator Glazer, Assemblywoman Bauer Cahan, Candace Anderson. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We really appreciate that. And Danville, Newell Arnridge, and Robert Storer. These guys have been friends, colleagues, mentors through thick and thin.
I've learned a lot from both of them, and I really appreciate all you've done for us. And I hope the future councils treasure you as much as I do. And the fire district. And thank you so much for the fire district and all you guys do. You really have been fabulous in supporting the citizens and supporting us. I see in the audience, we have a couple of people from our first, the city council I served with. Abram Wilson and Carol Rowley, thank you so much for your mentorship. It's sad to say that the fifth person, I mean, there was Dave and I, and then Carol and Abram and Jim Livingstone, who's no longer with us, but learned from all of you, and thank you very much. Others we served with were Harry Sachs, Phil Alone, Zabina Savar. And now the current council with Marisol and Sridhar and
The Army guy.
the Army guy.
Yeah.
The Army guy. Yes. And, fortunately, the person who's going to take this seat in just a few minutes, Robert J. Wynot. Yay. City will be well served by Robert, I know. He's a really smart guy. He's quick on the learning curve, so he'll do just fine. I noticed in the audience, city manager, Herb Moniz. Herb, I want to thank you. Where'd he go? Where is he? Herb really set the tone for this city for a long, long time, and for a lot of good reasons. We are who we are largely because Herb Moniz and his vision, and working with councils over the years to make this city such a beautiful place to live. And I thank you, Herb, for that. We also had Greg Rogers and Joe Gorton, who were fabulous city managers in their own right. And then we have Steven Spadowski. The tradition of strong city managers goes on, and I want to thank all of them for their vision and their help and guidance. One of the things you can tell about good quality city managers is a really low turnover among staff. All of us can read the newspapers. Who gets a newspaper? I do, but is there anybody else that gets a newspaper? There's two of us. Good. But how many times in a month do you read about other cities where the council's fighting, the vice mayor is convicted of perjury, they censor council members, they accost their city manager? There's so many things that go wrong in so many cities, but it doesn't happen here. And it doesn't happen here because we have really good staff, we have a really good council, we have a really good attorney who works with us to help us do the right thing. And I also want to thank the rest of the staff, and I see a whole bunch of them back there. And if I start naming names, I'm going to miss somebody, but I thank you all. You guys do a fabulous job. This city is a great place to live because you're here, 5 days a week and sometimes more, making this a really good place to work. And you care about the citizens, and you care about making the council look good. I asked, Debbie may remember this, and maybe who else was, Kathy. I told staff when I first joined that I would never embarrass them during a council meeting if they were straight with us. If they would tell us the truth, the whole truth, during council meetings, and they wouldn't hold back, and that they would, I would never embarrass them. I would ask them questions, but I usually told them the question before the meeting so that they were prepared. But they've done a fabulous job over the years, and I'm very grateful we had such a high quality staff. I see a lot of other high quality friends out there that I have, and I put my glass on to see if we got Eric Wallace and the Alpert, Cindy and Gary and Gene Kuznick. Oh, and oh gosh, there's a whole bunch of them. And Bill Clarkson. I have to give special recognition to Bill Clarkson.
When I first got called by Herman Whelm to run for city council, I said, let me get back to you. And I talked to my wife and she says, go do it if you want to. It's on you, but go do it. And then I called Bill. And I wouldn't say Bill exactly tried to talk me out of it, but he tried to get a sense of my level of commitment. He wanted to know, was I really going to do this? And was I willing to commit the time, energy, effort, and intellect into doing this? And over the years, and here I am. And over the years, I've gone to Bill many, many times for advice on all kinds of things, and never let me down. So Bill, I want to thank you. A special thank you to Bill. Oh, I see Harry is back there. Thank you, Harry. There's a lot of high quality people in this town. And I feel like if I start mentioning a lot of names, I'll miss some, but thank you all. Last thing I want to say is my family. My family had to deal with me being gone a lot of evenings, whether it's to the mayor's conference or it's an MCE meeting or it's CCTA, or these meetings come and most of them have subcommittees. And most of them meet monthly. So I may go to as many as 10 meetings a month outside of the city. And they had to put up with my crazy schedule. But I go back to 1972. I went to a dance at Chestnut Hill College, and Elizabeth went to Chestnut Hill College, and she was at the dance. In spite of her best intentions, she told her girlfriends at college, I don't want to meet any dumb midshipmen. And here I am. But the best decision I ever made was to ask her to dance, and then ask her for a date, and then ask her to marry me. And here we are, 48 years later. 48 years later. So thank you very much, Elizabeth, for all you've done. So those are my comments, and I know the city's in good hands with Mark and Marisol and Sridhar and Robert, and you guys will pick one more. And Stephen and the rest of staff, all you guys will be in great shape. No doubt about it. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I wanted to add one thing to what Scott was saying. When Herb Moniz was here, he did hire one person, Stephen Spadowski, for transportation.
Yep.
Much the same thing I would say is before we open up public comment. I have been so fortunate to work with some of work with and come to meetings with some of the best council members from San Ramon and from our neighboring cities. I mean, the first council that I was on or would come to, you mentioned, I think that year the mayor was Herman Wellman. Before him, the mayor was Greg Carr and Jim Blickenstaff. And you learn, if you just listen for a while, you learn so much. And at the same time, I remember I made the mistake one time. No, I'm not even going to go to that. I think one of the things that we have going in the Tri-Valley that we don't talk about enough is the respect we have for our military. We would do every year the swearing in of the new officers to the different academies. And I remember the time I went, the first person who stood up was this young lady who was going to the Air Force Academy. And I looked at her, I said, you're the smart one. That's what Newell told me. He said, you are going to hear this constantly, this rivalry between the different services. Get used to it. And Newell's son is a Marine, so obviously he wasn't buying into my story about you're the smart one to the Air Force lady. But she was the smart one. And with that, I'd like to open up public comment.
I think the city manager had a
Oh, he had
comment
a
before we do
couple
that.
Yeah, I don't have an
You don't think
update
he's a
tonight,
smart
so, yeah. So I just wanted to say to Vice Mayor Perkins, I've been trying to figure out a way to phrase this first statement, and the best that I could come up with was, you were elected at a time of what I'd like to call great instability in the city, for those of you that know what was going on here. the instability was deeply effective to staff. It was a time that was really hard on staff, and you came in on council and played a major role in righting the ship, along with Councilmember Rowley. I'm so glad you're here tonight. It really was a hard time for everybody, and both of you came in and provided that guidance that we needed, and staff is very appreciative of your efforts. Vice Mayor Perkins, your attention to detail is second to none. If there was an error on page 86, table 3, column G, line 242 of a staff report, you would find it. And you would always let us know in the nicest way possible. And I don't know if you know this, we would tell staff members, hey, if you have an error on that staff report, Vice Mayor Perkins is going to find it. So let's make sure these staff reports are really tightened up. And I was reflecting on that today, and you really did make us all better. You made every single staff person who's ever written a staff report that you've ever interacted with, you've made us all better, and you've made the city better through your actions. And thank you very much for your service to the city. It's going to be very, very strange to not see both of you up here. It's collectively 48 years of experience leaving us tonight, but I'm glad you're still a resident. So I'm looking forward to any resident calls that you may have. And
Don't change your cell number. 'Cause
nope, I will
call.
not. I will not. And as a matter of fact, on the San Ramon organizational chart, you are getting a promotion because residents are the top and then the council. So, technically you are getting promoted tonight. And Mayor Hudson, again, I'll reflect on that time. Again, this is putting it nicely, of great instability. You were a voice of reason during that time, along with Mayor Wilson. I can't convey enough how much of an impact it had on the staff that was there and some of the effects that we had to deal with for years later. But you and Mayor Wilson were just great to staff at that time, and we really can't thank you enough. You were always supportive of staff, in particular myself, and I will never forget that. You were such a regional powerhouse. You were the E.F. Hutton of local government on a regional level. When Dave Hudson spoke, everybody listened. He would come to my office, you would come to any staff member's office and start talking about the regional issues and people, and you just kind of held on and tried to absorb even a fraction of what you were explaining. We were just so lucky to have those conversations and to have you here. It's been a pleasure to serve as your staff under your tenure. And 23 years ago, you gave me this pin. You were the mayor at the time. I never told you this, but every council meeting I've worn this particular pin that you gave me 23 years ago, and I'll always appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any comments from the council before we open public comment?
Okay, just a little pressure here. I just wanted to say, first and foremost, to Vice Mayor Perkins, coming on here, it is no joke. He's really like the encyclopedia. Well, I can't say Britannica, San Ramon. You just have a lot of detail and information, and just he has it in the back of his mind, just like ready to dish it out. And it was really something very valuable for all of us, especially coming in. And when we had to make important decisions, you really provided important, pivotal information that was important, enabled us to make critical decisions in the best way possible. And for myself coming in at that time, having both you and Mayor Hudson, the experience you have here was really invaluable. I mean, you really provided a lot of mentorship for me personally. And I still remember when I first came in, Mayor Hudson was saying, "Oh, don't be a wallflower." I was like, "Oh, I don't think he knows me that well yet." But it was, and he encouraged me always, always, always. I just remember you were always saying, "Oh, why don't you go first?" And I was like, "Okay." Just both of you made me feel so welcome, and I really appreciate that. And just for teaching me so much in that time. from your experience, about how to sift through things and really make the best decision possible in the end. And I just appreciate everything you did for this beautiful city, because my daughter and I came to this city with, as you know, my daughter being disabled. I was always very worried about safety. And that was a big issue for me. And I came here for that reason. And a lot of that is due to the work that both of you did over the years. So thank you for that as well. I appreciate you.
Marcus Shridhar. I do have to say one thing for, if you think he's an encyclopedia, you should have been here when we were taking staff reports for transportation from John Dillon. They just went on and on. I'm sorry, go ahead, Shridhar.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Vice Mayor Perkins, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude for all your great service to our community for 21 years. It's today what we have San Ramon, the way it is built, so that we are all able to enjoy, live, work, whatever you did. As I always say this, as the San Ramon is, your DNA is part of the San Ramon. So what you did for us, for our community, for our generation, and for our next generation, and for the more generations, it will remember for creating such a thriving community for us. And as in the proclamation, those proclamations are very well written. As I mentioned about the attention to detail, I always had an opportunity to learn a lot from you. And on personal note, thank you very much for mentoring me during my first election campaign. I appreciate that, giving me walking sheets and making me walk, talking to community members. I always appreciate all that invaluable guidance that you gave it to me so that I could able to serve my community. And definitely you are part of my inspiration that drive me to make sure that I can get involved in the community service. And also appreciate all your scout services. You played such a significant role in building our youth, where they could able to thrive once again in the Eagle Scouts. And also, we are definitely going to miss your fascinating, captivating travel stories, all the polar bear pictures and all those things. We are definitely going to miss those stories. And also all your work at Livermore Laboratories. I get to get a lot of science information that going on from Vice Mayor Perkins. So thank you very much. Appreciate all the things that you did for our community. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And I have your cell phone. Whenever I have finance questions, I'll be calling you. Thank you. Then Mayor Hudson, I want to once again express my heartfelt gratitude for your unwavering 27 years of dedication and service to community. So you're definitely inspiration for many community leaders. You just reading as a encyclopedia of finance, Scott Vice Mayor Perkins, you are encyclopedia for us, for our regional bodies, when it comes to airbag, when it comes to many other regionals. So what you built for us so that we could able to continue to work on is a significant support. And I'm sure that we could able to continue your legacy in regional boards. So thank you for making a big mark within our, not only San Ramon, as many of people think that, oh, he's a mayor of San Ramon, but he is pretty much did a significant improvements within whole Bay Area. So thanks for making San Ramon a better place to live and for all your great work for us. With that, thanks once again.
Thank you, Shridhar. Mayor Armstrong?
Yeah, I'll start with Vice Mayor Perkins. Last week we had an event that was, we called it the WOW Awards. It was sponsored by our San Ramon Chamber of Commerce. Both these gentlemen received Lifetime Achievement Awards. And I had the privilege of putting together a video and then introducing Vice Mayor Perkins to receive that award. And was able to talk about many of the things you heard tonight about his time in the Navy, his work at Lawrence Livermore Labs, his work with scouting, mentoring, over 100 Eagle Scouts, his 21 years on the city council and all the things he's done. You've, in the proclamation and all the comments tonight, you've heard about the different committees and things that he served on, the big projects that he's been involved with. and, you know, even regional committees, MCE and some of the regional committees that have really made a big difference for the residents of San Ramon. So you know, we're going to lose your institutional knowledge and all that you have brought to the city and to the city council. But we know you're not going too far. I want to thank you personally for just your guidance and mentorship and kind of bringing me on board and other council members. So really appreciate that. And thank you for all your service over the years. And then for Mayor Hudson, same thing, you know, Lifetime Achievement Award recognized the other day. A lot of the same things that were said this evening and all the proclamations. You were also involved with scouting, and there's some things you've told stories about aqua bears that we didn't get into tonight. We told stories about kind of saving the golf course and all your long distance runs that you do, the ultra marathons or the Western States 100. I don't even know what to call it. Seemed like every time we did either a Bah Humbug run or Run San Ramon race or something, Mayor Hudson is out there. He's talking about all his exploits and running through the snow or, you know, chasing and catching up. And, it was phenomenal stories. But thank you so much for all that you did over the years, 27 years or so. And many of you may not know, he was, as mentioned, he was a mayor in 2001. So he was a mayor on 9/11. And that was no small thing to have to deal with all the instantaneous changes that need to be made with the way that with a family that was affected here in San Ramon. One of the persons that was on Flight 93 that crashed in Pennsylvania, they were from San Ramon. He had to deal with that situation as well as changing some, dealing with some safety things. But thank you for doing that. Thank you for leading through COVID. We haven't mentioned that, but both of you were here during the time of COVID and led us all the way through, from the beginning of that all the way through the completion of that. You've been present at so many different community events and involved in so many different things, and even doing, marriage ceremonies here. Just so much that you've been involved with that has taken your time, and you've really poured your heart and soul into the city of San Ramon and truly made it just a great place to live, to work, to play. We say that a lot, but it's really true, and it's in large part due to the contributions of you, Mayor Hudson, and you, Vice Mayor Perkins. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Anything you want to say before we open up public comment? Do we have any cards?
We do.
Line them up.
Joyce Carr.
Good evening.
Evening, Joyce.
Everything that everyone has said, I totally agree with. I think that you guys have done an amazing job. And oh, by the way, people who don't know who I am, I'm Joyce Carr, and my husband Greg is former mayor and councilman here in San Ramon. So I wanted to say that I appreciate everything you had. When I was thinking of, when planning on coming to the meeting, I had kind of had a story about each one of you that was more personal just to me, and that I felt really that you listened to me, and I've never forgotten it. And I'll start with Scott. And a few years ago, our grandson was diagnosed with cancer, and before that time, Enzo had come to a lot of the meetings. We'd sit in the back row, and we had the terrible news about that. And I remember after the meeting, Scott, I remember you coming and walking up the aisle here and bending down and just sitting next to me, just like, I'm here, whatever you need, I'm here for you, I'm supporting you. I'll never forget that. I think about that all the time. Enzo's doing fine, by the way, but I just wanted to let you know that I appreciate that. And then Dave, whenever I had an issue or something that worried me, you always said, okay, I'll get back to you, we'll look into it. And you would look into it, and you always made a point of getting back to me and reassuring me that everything was okay. And I really appreciated that. So we're going to miss the two of you. But I you've got to both be so proud of yourselves for what you've done for this city. I mean, there aren't even any words to express the amount of love that you've given to the city. And I love, ask Greg, I love San Ramon. Thank you.
I would say what you've done for care and cure research for childhood cancer can't be matched. Next speaker.
Greg Carr.
Greg Carr, San Juan resident. I promise not to yell and scream at you guys. Those days are over. A long time ago, I spoke down here, and then Joyce got up and spoke. It might have been when Bill Clarkson was the mayor. And I said some things, and then she, gets up and she says, I agree with everything Greg says. And I think she brought the house down for some of you who are here, knowing who I am anyway. I came here tonight to honor your service and to thank you for that. And for one other thing. For those of you in the audience who have never sat up there or aren't staff and who don't know the demands on these people, it's not just 2 times per month. They're on committees, they're on commissions, they get calls from residents, and it goes on and on. And it's 24/7, 365 times 4, or in their cases, times 27 and 21. My God, that's a long time. Stop and think about that, So for your persistence and your stick-to-itiveness, you have my respect. For the things that you voted on that I agreed with, of course, you have my respect. I won't talk about the other ones because those were always contentious, but thank you. And again, for people in the audience, imagine yourself coming down here for 27 years, or in Scott's case, 21 years. You got to show up. You have to get your packet on Friday, and you have to go through it as these two do, and I'm sure all of you do. And you've got to know what you're talking about. You just can't wing it. And then you have to carry out your job. And it is sometimes it can be close to a full-time job. And so if you've got a job doing something else, you're paying double duty. And it takes a lot out of you. So I commend you for your 27 and 21 years service. And the other thing that Joyce mentioned about personal stuff, I have a long memory for everything, but I have a long memory for the 2 things she spoke about, you, Scott, and for you, Dave. So thank you very much for your service. And I hope each of you tonight will maybe, come down and thank them too, because they deserve it.
Next speaker, please.
Herb Moniz.
Now the stories have come out.
See, he's not elected. He can say that.
Yeah, I can say anything.
I'll be
basically.
brief.
I want to commend the current council and the staff and the former councils on job well done. You guys do an excellent job, and I'm sure the new council will do an excellent job also. I want to personalize this, and a couple things have been touched upon. Scott, when you came on the council, Candace touched on it first. You came on and there was a recession, and we were in dire straits. Bill Lindsay and I just couldn't get the budget together. We couldn't make it work. we literally, the council didn't know, we literally had $250,000 in the bank. That's it. So finally, the finance committee was going to meet. We had this much information. We tried to whittle it down. We got it down to a couple of inches. And I just told Bill, I said, that's our best job. Just give it to the finance committee. If we did anything, if we made any mistakes, Perkins will find it. And as you said, Scott always did his homework, always. And he was a helpful person. And he was absolutely correct most of the time. And I want to thank him for making the staff better. Dave, I was city manager for 23 years with a slight hiccup. And so we go way back. And Scott, where you were incorrect is that you attributed the city stuff, this wonderful thing, a lot to me. It was collaborative. When we started, the planning commission and the city council were a bunch of citizens just trying to get their act together to legislate a beautiful city that worked. And it's the little things that count, like you on the finance committee and Dave during the fireworks shows. They've heard about all the wonderful global stuff that you do. On July 5th, Dave was out there with the staff cleaning up the park every year, doing the job. And that's what makes San Ramon great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Before he sits down, I want to correct one thing that Mark said about 9/11. It was Herb that sent out had Brian Lindblom send out an officers to Dina Burnett's home because the press was already on her front door before her husband had crashed. She was on the phone with him. And these guys, these vultures, well, I can't call them vultures, but they were out there. I don't know what they thought they were going to do, walk up to the door. How do you feel about your husband being on a plane that's going to crash? I mean, but how do you take care of stuff like that? That's when you find out you've hired the right people. And these two are the right people. Okay, next speaker, please.
Ramesh.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. And for the people who don't know me, my name is Ramesh Imadi, and I help the San Ramon Cricket Association running the youth wing. And I'm here to thank the mayor and vice mayor for all the help you guys kind of did to promoting the cricket in the city of San Ramon. And David, we miss you at the closing ceremony during the Thanksgiving weekend tournament. You are there for many years, and you guided and you helped, and the youth to the large extent. And Scott Perkins, Vice Mayor, thanks a lot for all your help. And kids remember the certificates which you helped to get them, and they cherish those for the rest of their life. And under your leadership, now we have about thousands of kids who are playing cricket. I'm proud to say that we have multiple players from city of San Ramon who are going to represent in the U19 World Cup for both boys and girls. And the credit should go to the city council under your leadership. So with that, I want to say thank you. And I'm sure you are living in a good hands of Mark. Mark, thanks for all your help. You are always there as your predecessors. And I hope to see you continued support, and God bless you all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ramesh. Next speaker, please.
Former Mayor Wilson.
See, why I'm mayor, I won't say 3 minutes, but
No, it will be.
I can't wait till he tells Scott 3 minutes.
I didn't look at the agenda, but
The most important thing, when I look at Mr. Perkins, Mr. Hudson, and Mrs. Rowley, that was the council, and Mr. Livingston, that we became family. We didn't always agree, but we had the sense that even if we lost the vote, we knew it was best for San Ramon. We were a family. Agree or disagree. The two of you helped us to understand the difference in working together, public-private partnerships, what was unheard of in the United States. Having a school district and a city work together with another city, unheard of. We formed our own police department, unheard of, and the trials and tribulations, and the residents have prospered because of that. Bringing police and fire together, working as one, mainly because we believed in each other. We trusted each other. We argued with each other. But again, I want to thank you, both of you, for your commitment, because this is a wonderful city, and you two have helped to maintain, to make it a wonderful valley, the San Ramon Valley and the Tri-Valley to work. You know, David, the city manager said, David spoke, he talked and talked and talked and talked. But we always knew if we listened, we would find out things. If I was reading something that I had to, maybe didn't really had to decide whether I agree or disagree, I would go and talk to Dave. No, he would talk to me. I would listen, and I could come up with a intelligent, informed decision. Scott was good because I could always count on you to dot the i's and cross the t's. Again, more than anything else, we took that for granted, the family. San Ramon is a family. San Ramon has turned this whole valley into the family. You talked about when we go back to DC. We were the only cities in the United States to go back to DC, to the mayor's conference, and work as one unit. There are so many other things, but again, thank you both for your dedication, for your love of the city. We will miss you, and you will be on this side, and we'll talk. We'll talk. Again, thank you, and thank the present council and the future council for keeping up the tradition. And we will always be there to help you.
Sure you will.
Yes, Mark says yes, we will.
And I got to
be.
do a special thanks to Mayor Wilson because not everybody was happy with us forming our own police department. And we were okay. We weren't the ones that did it. We just said, and when the county sheriff realized what we had done, he's the one that took all the heat.
But
And the county sheriff's very big.
But again, I was able to take that heat because I knew I had a city manager and a council that had my back. And that's what this city is all about. Everyone having our own back. So again, thank you. And
We had your back, but he was very big, Abram.
I know, I know. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Sarah Lashenlu.
Hello. Well, I came to this meeting tonight very, very excited to celebrate all of you, but I was not planning to speak until something very unexpected happened. When everybody stood up and we gave the Pledge of Allegiance together, I felt a wave of emotion. And that emotion was pride and service. And then I realized, despite the differences of everybody in this room, I can say with confidence that all of you, and especially you two, feel the same way. So I want to thank you both for your service. And I don't have the privilege of having collaborated with you two professionally during the course of your term here serving the city, but what I can express is how it felt growing up in a city that you helped create. I grew up here in San Ramon. I attended California High School. I went away for college, Cal Poly, and I loved my experience here in San Ramon so much that I came back. And not a lot of my fellow classmates did, and I keep telling them, you're making a mistake. Come back to San Ramon. And I have to say, I grew up to do some pretty wonderful things. I became an engineer. I pursued politics, and I decided to dedicate my career to national security. And what a lot of people fail to recognize is the impact that a person's childhood and the community that they grew up in has on all of their future adulthood accomplishments. The fact that each and every one of you has offered to have a sit-down conversation with me, just a resident here in San Ramon, says a lot about your commitment to public service, because public service isn't about, necessarily always agreeing all the time or whatever. It's about spending your most valuable resource, which is your time, on understanding the needs of the people and prioritizing their interests above your own. So I just want to thank you, Vice Mayor Perkins and Mayor Hudson, and congratulate all of you on an incredibly wonderful election cycle. And it's an honor and a privilege to live here, and I cannot wait to see what future builds in San Ramon from the foundation that you two have built. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Briefly, Sarah and I are in the same division at Livermore Lab, so.
We won't hold it against you, Sarah.
No.
Sharad Kathrani.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the time. And one thing, when I ran for the campaign, I realized how much effort it takes out of the time to take this enormous number of hours you put in this service. And I'm really glad that you guys have put for 27 years is an amazing thing. And Scott is also pretty 20 plus years, right? And in all the committees, I really want to thank you and congratulate Mark and Robert as well, and Sridhar for the new council. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
That was the last card.
Pardon?
That was the last card to speak.
Okay. Is there any written or no? All right, we'll close the
It
public
looks like we
comment.
have one more.
Oh, Gary wants to speak. But we can't close without Gary. Go ahead.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council, staff. I mean, what can I say? I've been here since 79. I watched all this happen. I look around and I see a lot of familiar faces from over the years. It's exciting to watch this happening, but it makes me sad because I'm getting old like you guys. But through the years, Dave Hudson kept reaching out and grabbing me and say, let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's do Cal Lotto. Let's do all these things at the schools. And all of a sudden it's about getting elected. And Dave, all I can say is, my claim to fame is I know the mayor of San Ramon. You've always been a great friend. You've helped me through so many committees here and things I've been on. And I just have enjoyed serving the city as much as I could. I hate to see the two of you go, but I look at these faces and I say, we're going to be in good hands over the next years that we're coming through. And I want to say that I too was pinned by Dave Hudson. Congratulations to you. I think
Gary.
you're doing a great job and done a great job, and congratulations because now you get to go have some fun.
We'll see. Thank you. That it, Christine? Now I can close the public comment?
I believe so.
Okay. Yes, you can. I guess I could say no, but
I debated if I wanted to say anything, but and thinking it's a big deal to get here today for you, and I'm really proud of you. And so I had three things that I wanted to say is one, similar to Sarah's sentiments, coming back and growing up in San Ramon, had a great childhood, and now bringing my kids back here and seeing all the wonderful parks and all the wonderful activities for families in this community, there is an immense sense of pride. And that does not happen overnight. And I know it has come on the backs of many individuals that have made many intentional decisions, may have been really hard in the moment, but always thinking in the future and thinking for the best for this community. And so with so many people in this room that have made those decisions, thank you. Thanks for making San Ramon just a really special place and a place with just great memories and a foundation of life. So I wanted to say that. Second of all, I wanted to thank this current council. When my dad had a stroke, there was really hard decisions going on and things that needed to carry on. But what I want to say is thank you for being a team and looking out for the greater good. I think some of us may have, when we asked, what would you like your decision to be? His answer was always, there's still work to be done. And there was a lot of motivation. And I just thank you for honoring that decision that he wanted to come back and to get here today. Means a lot. And so thank you for working hard to get back here. I know how much it meant to you, but I just want to thank the city, the council for being a team and the sacrifices you have made, or maybe extra meetings you've attended or where you've stepped in for a teammate there. I was thinking about like growing up, I thought you had the most boring job in the world. Like you sat in meetings and you read huge stacks of pieces of paper and you dealt with a variety of people and personalities and but ultimately watching your journey and seeing all that you've accomplished and the city has accomplished, I'm just really proud of that. And so I want to thank this current and loved ones for the sacrifices they make, because it's not easy having a loved one in a public office always. So thank you to your families. And then third, I just want to honor Mayor Hudson in the sense of you always taught all of us kids the value of showing up and giving your time and your presence. And maybe you say something when you show up, or maybe you don't, but just how much that can mean for someone else. And so I want to just honor all the community events, all the speaking engagements, all the opportunities that you've shown up. And I also want to thank everyone in this room for showing up to honor this council and honor Vice Mayor Perkins and Mayor Hudson. So thank you for all that you guys do for the city.
thank you, Carly. For the record, City Clerk, did you get the name on that? That's my daughter.
I did. We have one more speaker.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Layla Joynette. I'm Robert Joynette's daughter, and I would like to say thank you, but that's not all I want to say. I remember in elementary school, I went to Twin Creeks. We took a field trip here to City Hall, and one of the kids in my class shook hands with Mayor Bill Clarkson, and I was sitting in the audience like, wow, this is kind of a big deal. I hope I get to be here again. And here I am, thanks to my father. I'm extremely proud of him. And my experiences with San Ramon and other cities, San Ramon is very diverse. It is very kind. Together, we work together as a team, and it's everybody is well put together, and everybody thinks it through. Thank you for keeping our spirit alive.
Thank you. Last call. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak before we close public comment? Seeing nobody rush forward, I think they want to swear in. Okay, we'll close the public comment. Next item, please.
Item 8.2, administration of the oath of office to Councilmember Sridhar Varos.
Out there.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Solemnly swear
That I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United
to
States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter. Hey, come up here, Robert. I don't know where you keep going.
Wrong way, Robert.
You don't get to go back there anymore, Robert.
Time to go to work.
Get your shirt too, Scott. Get your shirt to arrive.
Kids are on trips right now, so. I, Mark Armstrong,
Swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. At this time, I'd like to give the opportunity for Councilmember Veros and Councilmember Joinat to make some comments here.
Sure, thanks. Thanks, official Mayor Mark Armstrong. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to residents of San Ramon District 3 for believing in me and giving me one more opportunity to be their council member for next 4 years. You know, serving our city, it's been a great honor and privilege. As you know, I'm re-elected as unanimously and without any opposition. But this achievement goes to credit to many individuals and regional organizations, because of which I could able to achieve this. First and foremost, the credit goes to our great council. You know, even though I'm part of this council, I feel very grateful for all the friendship and all the conversations and debates that they bring. And especially we are very blessed to have two Star World council members, Councilmember Perkins as well as Mayor Hudson, working with them. It's a blessing for me. So definitely that's one of the key team that made it to achieve. The credit goes to them. The second credit goes to our city staff. It's a great leadership as well as great services that we deliver to our communities. That's what makes this city such a beautiful place and to live, work, and play. So I want to definitely give this big credit to our city staff, what you do. And then it goes to our San Ramon Police Department. They are definitely stars of our community. You know, as San Ramon is well known for one of the best safe and secured place to raise your families. And our PD is well known for their achievements. And especially they understand the diversity of our community and how they work with our community is fantastic. So again, the credit also goes to our San Ramon Police Department. And then the special thanks, and again, the credit goes to our commissions, both commissions, Planning Commission as well as San Ramon Parks and Community Services. Behind the scenes, they do a lot of lift. Nobody understands because the work that they do, especially all the paperwork that comes to us, even before us, most of them are vetted by them and taken care by them. So definitely the residents recognized all the good work that is being done by them. So that's another reason they thought that I'm still a good candidate for them to continue to be their council member. And also we have fantastic committee members. We have Library Committee, Arts Advisory Committee, Senior Advisory Committee, Transportation. They all are amazing volunteers who do work, the best quality work in our city, giving their own personal time. So definitely the credit goes to them. And then definitely our partners, agency partners, San Ramon Fire District. You know, one of the best first responders you can have within a community, where you give a call the next few seconds. I recently, one of my friend told me that he's still alive because the response that they got from our first responders. So that such a great services that we get. So that definitely the credit goes to them. and San Ramon Valley Unified School District, we have one of the best education system that we have. So, and also there are a lot of nonprofit organizations that do so much good work in our community. And this is done from their own personal time. Literally, they put all their family time into these things. So thanks for doing all that great work and making me look good from this side. So thanks a lot. And then I would like to take this moment to thank my mentors, especially Bill Clarkson, who mentored me, taught me about politics, and many other mentors, like Vice Mayor Perkins and former council member Filoloni, and there are commissioners. I may not able to name all of them in this call, but thank you very much for believing in me. And then definitely my friends who on day one believed in me, and then they supported me throughout my journey as a council member for the last 4 years, and they continue to stay with me, and they're still supporting me. And especially my good friends from cricket team Tigers. So, so that's our team I play every weekend. So thanks for them for believing in me. And last but not most important is my wife Sucharita and my kids. You know, they are my backbone. She's the one who kicks my whatever so that I could able to get to things done. So thanks being there, supporting me throughout my journey. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. I'll continue to serve and focus on our council agendas, especially our whatever the community needs that we receive as a feedback on our council goals. I'll continue to deliver that with the best quality. So once again, thank you very much. It is a great honor to serve this city, this community as your council member. Thank you very much.
Robert. Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Armstrong only gave me 1 minute because I'm a rookie, so I'll make it quick. They tell me if I sit up here long enough, I'll become Scott Perkins by osmosis. So I'm going to sleep here tonight in this chair and not get up for about a week. Maybe I'll get 5 years. Right, Scott? Yeah. I want to thank my family who's here today, my 2 beautiful daughters, Layla and Claire, my wife, Sosin, my mother-in-law, who's in the stands today here, and the rest of my family here. Thank you. I love you all. My parents who are in Phoenix watching this on live feed, thank you. And to my cousins and rest of the family out here, I really appreciate it. And to Mr. Shetty, who ran a wonderful campaign. Thank you, Vasant. Really appreciate it. Wonderful. I want to give a hand to Mr. Shetty for running a clean campaign. Thank you. And on behalf of Mr. Perkins and Mayor Hudson, I can't say enough how much I'm going to miss, the opportunity to work with you. But with Councilmember Veros and Councilmember Rubio and Mayor, I look forward to great things and achieving great moments here in San Ramon. So thank you all.
And I'll keep it brief. I know Mayor Hudson always jokes about that. But first, I do want to thank God for the opportunity to serve in different positions throughout my different careers that have kind of led me to this position here today. I want to thank my family for being here, my wife Brenda, in the audience. I have my son Andrew and Leah. April and Mark are traveling right now, but it's a growing family, and Drew's wife Natalie and their newborn daughter Leona is here, and then Leah's fiance Adam is here, and his mother Donna. So just wonderful to have family as well. And I also want to thank all of my supporters and who supported me in various capacities throughout the campaign season and throughout my last 4 years on council as both a regular council member and as vice mayor. And just thank all the, as mentioned, the committee members, the commission members, different mentors that I've had. We've got some of our Tri-Valley partners here in the audience, and it's always great to spend time with them and learn from them. There's just so many to thank. To include past mayors and past council members, and I don't want to leave out our past city manager Joe Gorton and our current city manager Stephen Spadowski, and of course our great staff. We've got a wonderful staff. You've heard all about them tonight. We can't say enough about the great staff, but thanks again to all of you, the residents of San Ramon, and we all up here, I know, pledge to do the best that we can to continue to make this a great place to work, to play, to live, and to raise a family here. Before we adjourn, I do want to mention that we do have some refreshments out in the rotunda area. So if you want to grab some cider, some cookies, whatever we got out there. City manager, is there anything else we need to do tonight? Okay.
Just adjourn.
Madam Clerk, what's next on the agenda?
Item 9, adjournment.
This meeting is adjourned until the next regular meeting tomorrow night. Finally here. Thank you.